Alright, so today we're going to talk about a few things. First of all, we're going to go down the D scale. Then we're going to talk about a few songs, and eventually we're going to get to Jingle Bells. That's the main goal for today. So, first of all, the last time we had a lesson, we talked about the notes that are in the D scale. We went up the D scale. So we already knew the D, E, F sharp, and G from previous pages. Last week we talked about the notes on the A string, so A, B, C sharp, and D. Today we're going to use all the same notes, no new notes or anything like that, but in a little bit different order. And again, the scale we talked about last time is just when you have one note with a letter name, like D, for example, and then you go to the next letter name of the same letter name, but up or down. So D going up to D or going back down to D, that's a scale. So in this case, it would be D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. All those notes in between there, that makes up the D scale. So we went up the scale last time. We're on number 31 this time. We're going to go down the scale. So you'll notice I put over here my little list of 5 steps to practicing correctly and making sure you learn new songs the right way. We're going to skip, for the sake of time. Normally I would do this in person, but as always, for the sake of time, I'm going to skip the first couple steps here. So rather than count and clap the rhythms, we're going to clap and say the note names. So let's do that first. Note names should be the same for everybody, regardless of what instrument you play. From the beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. D, 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 rest. C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, rest. B, 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 rest. A, rest. G, 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 rest. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. E, 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 rest. D, 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 rest. Okay? And now, one thing to pay attention to, we're going to go from the A to the G right here. We're going to have to change strings. So we're going to go from no fingers down on the A, unless you're on a bass, to all your fingers down on the G, unless again you're on a bass, in which case you go kind of the opposite. You have all your fingers down for the A, and then you have one finger down for the A, sorry, and then you have open for the G, because you have an open G string. Okay, so let's do the finger numbers. Speaking of fingers, we're going to start with the violins and violas first. So these are the same numbers for violins and violas. And then we'll go back and do the cellos, and then we'll do the basses after that. So violins and violas first. 1, 2, finger numbers, go. 3, 3, 3, rest. 2, 2, 2, rest. 1, 1, 1, rest. Open, open, open. Now change strings. 3, 3, 3, rest. 2, 2, 2, rest. 1, 1, 1, rest. Open, 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 rest. Alright, now let's go ahead and do the cello finger numbers. Everybody else can do this along with me, no matter what instrument we're doing. Just make sure you don't get confused on the numbers that I'm saying if it's not your instrument. So cello finger numbers. 1, 2, ready, go. 4, 4, 4, rest. 3, 3, 3, rest. 1, 1, 1, rest. Open, 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 rest. 4, 4, 4, rest. 3, 3, 3, rest. 1, 1, 1, rest. Open, 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 rest. Okay, bass finger numbers. And basses, again, at the beginning of this, we talked about this the last lesson or two. You're going to be in third position, which means instead of being up here by the nut where you normally play, you're going to shift down. So where if you have finger tapes, your fourth finger tape down there is where your first finger is going to be now. So you're shifting your whole hand down to third position, starting with 4 fingers in third position. Bass finger numbers. 1, 2, ready, go. 4, 4, 4, rest. 2, 2, 2, rest. Now shift down. 4, 4, 4, rest. 1, 1, 1, rest. Change strings. Open, 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 rest. 4, 4, 4, rest. 1, 1, 1, rest. Open, 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 rest. I think I said change strings a little early. Sorry, I saw the G and I anticipated the F sharp there, basses. So you don't actually change strings until you get to the F sharp. Sorry about that if I confused you. Alright, so those are the finger numbers. Now make sure, again, I always say this, make sure you pause the video before you go on. Do this a couple more times until you're comfortable with it, until you don't have to think about it. Especially if you're on a bass, you have to get that shifting down back and forth between first and third position. So make sure you're comfortable with it first. All right, our next step normally, if we use the bow, would be to shadow bow. But we're not going to shadow bow because we're going to pluck these instead. So let's go ahead and play this for real. We're going to skip to that last step. So starting on the A string, or on the G string if you're a bass, starting on your high D. Remember, there's two Ds. There's a high D and a low D. The low D is your open one. The high D is the one that's got fingers down, depending on your instrument, different fingers. Okay, from the beginning. 1, 2, a little bit slower. Ready, go. D, 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 rest. C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, rest. B, 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 rest. Open. A, rest. Now new string. 3, G, G, rest. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. E, 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 rest. D, 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 rest. Okay, let's talk about one thing really quick. You'll notice the open strings ring for a long time on their own because you don't have any fingers holding them down. It's just a string vibrating. You can get similar string sounds that we call a tone, similar tone, when you're holding your fingers down, if you're holding your fingers down the correct way. So if your fingers are curved like this, so not straight like this, I always talk about Pac-Man hands, not straight like this, but curved and pushing straight down into the strings all the way down to the wood of the fingerboard, you can get more similar tones out of your strings even if you're pushing strings down instead of having open strings. It may not sound exactly the same because open strings really ring a lot, and that depends on your instrument, your strings, and things like that. But basically, the best tone you can get is if you're pushing straight down. So always check your left hand. Make sure you push straight down against the fingerboard. Don't push down with the flat part of your hand. Push down with your fingertip. Alright, so these are the same notes. We went over part of the D scale going up last week in the previous lesson. This week we're going to go all the way up. So we went all the way down before, just a second ago. We're going to go all the way up now. So we're going to start. I'm going to skip a few of the steps, the same notes we just had. And if you paused the video and went back and played it, you should be familiar with the notes and the fingerings and all that now. So we're just going to go through and clap and say note names once, and then we're going to skip down to go ahead and play it. And again, this is only for the sake of this video. If I were doing this in front of a live class, or if I was going to practice this on my own, I would go through all 5 steps. Okay, so number 32, let's clap and say the note names, and then we'll just play through it. 32. 1, 2, ready, note names. D, 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 rest. E, 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 rest. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. G, 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 rest. A, rest. B, B, B. Now basic shift to third position. C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, rest. D, 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 rest. Okay, let's go ahead and play it. Make sure you're sitting up straight and tall. Both feet as flat on the floor as you can. We haven't talked about this a lot, but make sure you're not sitting anywhere where you're all slouched over like a beanbag chair on your bed or anything like that. Sit nice and straight and tall. Make sure you get good posture. Alright, starting on your open D string. 1, 2, playing it, ready, go. D, 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 rest. E, 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 rest. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. G, 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 rest. Now change strings. A, rest. B, 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 rest. C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, rest. D, 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 rest. Okay? If you're trying to get the fingers down on the high string, on the A string, you're getting this kind of sound, that kind of dead, plunky sound, push a little bit harder down toward the fingerboard and make sure your fingers are curved. Usually you're just not pushing hard enough, or you're using the flat part of your hand, using the Pac-Man hands instead of using the curved fingers. Okay? Let's go on. I know we're going fast, but we're going to try to get to Jingle Bells. That's the goal of today. Alright, the next song I'm going to do is number 36, Dreidel. We skipped a couple songs in between there. We also skipped a few things talking about the bow. So we'll go back and get those when we pick up with the bow a little bit more in future lessons. But for right now, we're going to skip to 36. We're going to start with the first step, or sorry, the second step, which is the note names and clap, because the rhythm we're going to clap anyway. And like I always say, for the sake of time, We're just going to kind of jump around a little bit to make sure we have enough time to get through everything. So we're going to clap and say the note names. 1, 2, note names, go. D, D, E, E, F sharp, D, rest. F sharp, A, G, F sharp, E, rest, rest, rest. E, F sharp, G, E, rest. E, A, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, rest, rest, rest. A, F sharp, A, F sharp, A, F sharp, rest. F sharp, A, G, F sharp, E, rest, rest, rest. A, 2, 3, go. A, F sharp, A, F sharp, A, F sharp, rest. F sharp, A, G, F sharp, E, rest, rest, rest. G, E, G, E, G, E, rest. E, A, G, F sharp, E, D, rest, rest, rest. Okay? One thing I want to mention really quick. When we have notes like this, we have an F sharp right here, then we have a rest, and then another F note on the F space. That's still an F sharp. It doesn't change the note just because there's not a sharp next to it. That's still an F sharp. The note, the accidental, the sharp, carries all the way through the measure. Whenever you have one earlier in the measure, all the rest of the notes of that same spot are also sharp. Okay? Same thing right here. We have an A and then a note with no marking on it. That's still an A. There's no sharp there, but it's still an A just like the first note was. Okay? Now, let's go back. And before we go on, we're going to play this together. But before we go on, you should go through and pause the video and say all the finger numbers for your instrument. Okay, so quickly, I'll just run through what they are. So for violin and viola, we have D open, we have E first finger, F sharp second finger, G third finger, A is open, then B is first finger, C sharp is second finger, D is third finger. We're not using our pinky yet. If you are on cello, we have open D, first finger E, third finger, so put 2 fingers down together for F sharp, pinky G, then open A, first finger B, 2 fingers down again, 2 more fingers down I should say, for C sharp, and then pinky for D. If you're on bass, you have open D, you have first finger E, and you have 4 fingers for F sharp, then you have open G, first finger for A, 4 fingers for B, then you have 2 fingers for C sharp, but you're also shifted down to third position. Then you have 4 fingers shifted down third position for D. Okay, so those are your finger numbers. Go through on your own. Take your time. Figure out and clap all your finger numbers for number 36, and then we'll go back and play it together. Okay, now that you've done that, let's go ahead and play it. Starting from the beginning, find your open D string, and we're going to go slow. This is a long song compared to what we played so far, so take your time. If you need to pause the video and go back, that's perfectly okay. From the beginning, 1, 2, ready, go. D, D, E, E, F sharp, D, rest, F sharp to make a tunnel, A, keep the finger down, G, F sharp, E, rest, rest, next line, rest, E, F sharp, G, E, rest, tunnel here, E, A, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, tunnel again, rest, 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 A, F sharp, A, F sharp, A, F sharp, keep your fingers down, F sharp, A, G, F sharp, E, rest, rest, last line, rest, G, E, G, E, G, E, rest, E, A, G, F sharp, E, D, 2, 3, 4. Last up for today, we have Jingle Bells. I moved my camera here out of the way a little bit so you can see this camera, so you can see a little bit easier around it. Let's not forget, of course, when we have tunnels like right here and right here. Want to make sure you hold those fingers down. You know what this song sounds like already, so use that to your advantage a little bit. If you're playing through it and something sounds weird, it's probably not right because everybody's familiar with this song already. So we start on F sharp. Right here, the first note is F sharp, so it's 2 fingers for violins and violas, 3 for cello, 4 for bass. And we have a few places where, just like in Dreidel, we jump around where we lift up more than 1 finger at a time. Cellos are already used to this because your second and third finger move together a lot. So everybody else is going to have an opportunity to move 2 fingers at the same time several times during this song. Now, before we do this, you might want to notice that the beginning of this song does not have, in the beginning of each measure, like right here, right here, right here, they do not have the letter names written in for you. A lot of times in the other pages, they've had at least the first letter name written in for you for each measure, but this one they don't. They want you by now to have all these memorized. So, if you need to, before you play through this, before you clap it, before you say anything as far as note names go back and just refresh your memory on what all the notes are. I would encourage you not to write any notes in your book. Like, don't write the letter names above the note names, because it may seem like it's helping right now, and I'm sure it is to be able to see it, but as you play more difficult things, and as you try to sight read things, which means you play it the first time without having practiced it before, that's going to make it a lot more difficult, because you're always depending on having to read where the letters are. So if you can memorize it, it'll make it a lot easier, and it makes you a lot better player a lot faster. So we're going to go ahead and say the letter names, clap and say letter names, but only do this if you're ready to go on. So if you're not ready to go on yet, pause the video, go back and refresh your memory on all these letter names before we go on. Okay, so let's do letter names now. 1, 2, ready, go. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. F sharp, A, D, E, F sharp, rest, rest, rest. G, 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 F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, E, E, F sharp, E, rest, A, rest, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest, F sharp, A, D, E, F sharp, rest, 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 G, 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 F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, A, G, E, D, rest, rest, rest. We've got the letter names said. We've gone all the way through. We've clapped the rhythm now because we said the letter names and clapped at the same time. We know what this song sounds like, so let's just go ahead and play it. And if we get through a certain part, and like I said earlier, it sounds weird, just stop, go back, try to figure out what you did wrong, and play it through again. Okay? 41. This is Jingle Bells. Start with 2 fingers down, or 3 fingers, or 4 fingers, depending on your instrument, on F sharp. Going to go nice and slow. 1, 2, and ready, go. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. F sharp, A, D, E, F sharp, 2, 3, 4. G, 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 F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, E, E, F sharp, E, rest, make a tunnel, A, rest, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest, F sharp, A, D, E, F sharp, rest, 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 G, 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 F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, A, G, E, D, rest, rest, rest. Alright, now there are 2 or 3 places where I would suggest doing something. I would suggest writing a note to yourself. I don't mean write the note names in, we're not writing any letter names, but right here, where he has 5 G's in a row and then you have 4 F sharps in a row, I find that when I play this with students, they have a hard time remembering how many of them there are, or reading how many of them there are when they start playing this. So if I were you, I might do something like this. I might make a little bracket over my part right here, over those 5 G's, and I might write just the letter, or just the number 5, just to remind myself that I play that G 5 times. And then when I get to this F sharp, make a little bracket. Sorry, I have to go across my grid here. And I might write a little 4 there to remind myself I have to play the F sharp 4 times. Okay, the same thing happens again over here. You have 5 G's and then 3 F sharps. So anytime like that you want to write something like that into your music, that kind of thing is really good. Don't write in note names, because that kind of thing can hurt you over time. It can make you not as fast at playing it and not as fast as reading it. But it can actually help you to write in little notes like this to remind yourself, oh, I do this certain number of times before I go on. So let's do this again. And remember, if you need to pause the video at any time to go back and do some of this stuff on your own, that's perfectly fine. So find your F sharp, your first note. Here we go. Playing it. 1, 2, ready, go. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. F sharp, A, B, E, F sharp, rest, rest. Now 5 in a row. G, 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 G. Now 4 in a row. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, E, E, F sharp, E, rest. A, rest. Go on. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, rest. F sharp, A, D, E, F sharp, 2, 3, last line, and G, 5 in a row, G, 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 now 3 in a row, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, make a tunnel, A, G, E, D, rest, rest, rest. Okay? That was the goal for today, was to get through Jingle Bells and Dreidel. So we have gotten through those two. You have something to show off to your family and friends now over the break. If you have any questions over any of this, or if you're having problems with it, you're getting weird sounds, can't figure out what you're doing, send me a comment, let me know, and I'll be glad to help you out any way I can. But until I see you again, have a good, safe break, and I'll talk to you later.